I think the first problem we need to solve is to unify the dose. Like if one pump is doing this, we'll measure the PK, we'll measure the PD, we'll measure how patients feel with the goal of producing a new playbook. So the new doctors, when they come in, they have a playbook. Oh, I know. What does one pump do exactly?
What you're telling me, what I'm hearing is that education for our medical professionals is imperative as well as the general public. And having science and our medical professionals behind it, finally, getting them past their own stigma is a bit of a hurdle too. Welcome to Season 7 of the Cannabis Truth Podcast. I am so glad you're here today. This show exists to help you understand cannabis science clearly, honestly, and without fear so that you can decide whether this gentle plant might support your own aches and pains and health needs. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to a truly special guest, Dr. Harold Hahn. Dr. Hahn is a cannabinoid scientist who specializes in colloids and advanced delivery systems, specifically nanoemulsions. Those are what make plant medicine more stable, predictable, and effective. He's the mind behind Vertosa and its groundbreaking formulation, PhytoRx, created to solve one of the biggest challenges in plant medicine, consistency. After witnessing patients struggle to find reliable and trustworthy products in dispensaries, Dr. Hahn set out to build something clinicians could finally feel confident recommending. Here on the Cannabis Truth Podcast, we speak openly and honestly about cannabis without censorship, so you can make informed and mindful choices about the medicine you use. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I've spent over a decade working alongside these cannabinoidologists, specialists, scientists, and medical professionals in this industry. And my mission is simple: to help you understand the full story of cannabis so you can choose wisely. Let's dive in. Honey knows. Yeah, honey shows. Dr. Harold Hahn, I am so tickled to see you today and to have you on the Cannabis Truth Podcast.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you. Won't you tell our audience where you are and what you're doing there?
Yeah, sure. So today I'm standing in Berkeley. This is where I live, and this is where our company is at Vertosa. And Berkeley is such an amazing town. I love living here. It's the ocean climate, the ocean, the mountain, and we're right here between the ocean and the mountain. And it's just, I say there's inspiration in the air in Berkeley.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful. We've got snow on the ground here right now. So talking about being in the valley by the ocean just sounds gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Snow can be inspirational too, right? Snow is beautiful too.
Very much, and I love the cold. I'm a bit of a snow bunny, so being here in Michigan is a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the climate is
so
varied across our nation. Tell us what you're doing at Vertosa in Berkeley.
Yeah. So this actually is our office in Berkeley at Vertosa. So as we know, cannabinoids are not water soluble, right? So you have a traditional ways to consume cannabinoids. But then what if we can make it water soluble? So this is the mission that Vertosa is taking on. So Vertosa is taking the raw cannabinoids, THC, CBD, any cannabinoids, and we can turn that into an ingredient that is water compatible, meaning you can actually put this into a liquid, beverages, cosmetics, gummies even, right? So, and then people don't need to smoke it. People don't need to hold a tincture. People can just drink it. So the main business at Vertosa is we are a ingredient provider, B2B, provide this to our clients who are beverage companies, right? Who want to make a cannabis infused beverages.
And that's a pretty big deal because people are tired of the hangover of alcohol to relieve their aches and pains, whatever they are, in the cheapest way possible. Our society has been doing for millennium, but only in the past 100 years have been forbidden the plant. So it's wonderful to be on the cutting edge of science with this ancient remedy, isn't it?
It is. It is. And honey, we at Vertosa, we really love this book. It's called A World of History in Six Glasses. So this book talks about human history and our ritual and culture and religion revolve around six beverages. Do you know what are the six beverages? Take a guess.
Cannabis oil.
No, regular beverages. Regular, for thousands of years, what humans are drinking.
Oh, so it's just going to be wine and water and juices, fruit
No,
juices,
no. Wine is one of them.
water,
Wine.
apple
No,
juice,
no. Like beer, wine,
beer. Okay.
beer, wine, spirit,
Yep.
and coffee, tea, and Coca-Cola. And the Coca-Cola one is really interesting. People say, why you put Coca-Cola in there? Because it's culture defining, right? Coca-Cola for the last couple of decades worldwide has been showing it's a American culture, freedom, right? And it's a happiness. So it's really shaping how the culture evolves. And
Love that. That's so interesting to consider.
other beverages, at the ceremony, at a religion ceremony, or a gathering, a party, any events, alcohol, right? And then if you look at those six beverages, three of them are caffeine based, tea, tea, right, coffee, and right, Coca-Cola. Three of them are ethanol based, which is alcohol based. So you see, us as our brain, we're always looking for something to alter a little bit. You see.
Yeah. Wow. Why are we always seeking to alter our brain a little bit?
I think this can go into a deep philosophical discussion. Is reality we are facing real, or altered reality is a real reality? But that is where we always want to feel differently, right? And have this feeling and if this experience. I think those substance will allow us to feel at the moment deeply connected to something and someone.
Well, I talk about the introspection that cannabinoids allows us, certain ones. THC isn't the only one that allows introspection. I think CBD and all the other, like beta-caryophyllene, is incredibly anxiety reducing, which allows you to breathe and think outside that anxious, fearful bubble that you're in.
Yes.
So there's a lot of mind-bending components about this plant that aren't high, they're introspective.
Exactly. Yeah. There are many things potentials and values we can dig in.
So what are the the cannabinoids that you have chosen in particular for your product? And tell us about the product. I mean, I'm jumping the gun only because
No.
I got my own.
Oh, thank you.
Have enjoyed it, and it has helped my hands and the neuropathy and the arthritis so much. But you tell us about it, please.
Yes.
We love the science of all of this.
Thank you. Thank you. So as Vertosa is a ingredient provider, right? We don't have our own product. We are only supporting the industry. We're providing this consistent, trustworthy ingredient. And then, at the very beginning of Vertosa, we always want to benefit patients because we know cannabis can be recreational and mainly is medicinal, right? The value is huge here, but it's hard. There are a lot of people in the space still in the cannabis medical space, but when we look at the space, we see struggles. We see struggles in terms of product. We see struggles in terms of profit, right? And how many patients are getting educated, how many people like you are still believing in this space and advocating for the space. And we see the most critical thing is the product inconsistency, right, honey? Like if you still use flowers, for example, the flower changed from batch to batch, from a cultivar to cultivar, right? And then if you rely on the state-run, legal medical program, if you live in Michigan, you may have a total different product type compared to California, compared to Massachusetts. So for a physician to care for patients in different states, they just have different products, and the product have different potency, have different efficacy, flavor. And then another thing is that there's just so many compromises when patients are using cannabinoids. The compromise can either come from smoke for long, or sugar, like in the gummies, or tincture, the flavor and the hard to digest. So we thought, our emulsion, which is water soluble and is already a not only tasting good, a food ingredient, but also a pharmaceutical-like ingredients. Because when we make our emulsion here, we ensure every batch has a very consistent droplet size distribution, right? It's very consistent and narrow. So that's how we support our clients to hit the target potency every time, right? Consistent flavor and consistent effect for the recreational consumers. And we ask ourselves, why can't we leverage that technology to benefit patients? So this is where the birth of the idea of PhytoRx coming from. PhytoRx, the bottle you're holding, it's, yes, that bottle, PhytoRx. So it has two words, right? Phyto, we know, is for plants. We love plants. Plants heal us, right? But plants can be really variable. Right? We will grow differently, they express different things. So, but then RX is the meaning that is scientific based, consistent, validated. So we're combining two, like Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy. They are different, but the brand and the name is kind of merging the two. So the philosophy behind PhytoRx is we want to make plant medicine be delivered to the patients consistently and effectively.
Wow, you just pushed all of my old lady buttons. You really did, Harold. I'm 71. And although I'm in excellent health, I still, or what I consider to be excellent health compared to a bunch of other 71-year-olds I know.
Yeah.
My little issues are teeny, and yet you see the bump on my, and the tips of my fingers have neuropathy that feel like razor blades under running water. And Phyto are this alchemy settles all that down long enough for me to get through the night.
Wow.
Without my hands screaming at me to move or change or get up or shake them or rub them or cry or something, because the pain is hideous for a lot of elders.
Honey knows, yeah, honey shows.
Hello, my friends. I'm getting ready to put my feet up by the fire and cozy up to a good book, which reminded me you should do the same with my good book. This powerfully packed, little itty bitty 120-page book is going to give you a foundation in this gentle plant therapy we all know as cannabis. Not only that, it's already been peer-reviewed by doctors and scientists and other cannabis professionals in this industry. Furthermore, you're going to find out who my favorite professionals are in this industry and how they could possibly help you, because I list those sources. You'll find out their names, their websites, what medications would be available for you, all amazing information. And it's just a couple hours read. Don't miss Understanding the history, politics, science, and protocol of using cannabis safely and effectively for yourself. Anywhere you order books online. Healing Beyond High. Cannabis Truth. I was such an anxious woman. I had no idea. But when I use this, that's all gone. It's just gone. So I wanted to let you know that if you've got any kind of issues using a cannabinoid or the cannabis plant, you could get this to use for pain relief and anxiety relief and inflammatory relief. The three things I talk about most by using cannabis products. And yes, Dr. Blair also has cannabis products that he has formulated too. But this one, this is just one terpene in a liposomal form. That means you can swallow it and it's liquid and kind of tastes like caramel apples to me. So you see this girl thriving at 71. I blame this product for most of it. I hope you too go look up Dr. Blair's. It's called Able Docs Apothecary is the name of his company. You can find him at blairmedicalgroup.la as well. And the name of the product is BC Plus. BC Plus. It's so cool.
Honey knows, yeah, honey shows.
If we can get something that we don't have to worry about being high, like on, the recreational stuff, but we understand that our doctors have taken the time to check the science and make the alchemy perfect for us and consistent. Because I live in Michigan, which is recreational, and they just don't care about medicinal stuff. They can't legally anyway.
Yeah.
Can't be responsible for our aches and pains, not like the medical field. And so I'm so relieved to see medical professionals and scientists checking this stuff out, getting into the nitty-gritty of it, and helping us understand it better so that we can use it to target our own aches and pains. Getting old ain't for the weak of heart.
Thank you. And we're all going to experience this. We're all in the same boat, and aging is happening to us every day. And not only for our senior citizens, but even for my friend circle who have a couple of kids. This stress, and every day is a battle. Every day for parents, young parents, and every day is a battle. And they, from the day when they open their eyes,
deprivation alone makes us crazy. As young parents.
Yes. So I was having a chat with a friend. He has two kids. He's like 45, and he said, "Oh wow, I think not even for seniors, but for us, everybody over 45 have two kids. They have to have a pump in the morning just to calm everything down and just be in the gym and lower the inflammation. You can have a good day." So
that baby energy and toddler energy and preschooler energy at 6 o'clock in the morning. You need a pump just to get you through the first couple of hours. And the nice thing about the pump, which I happen to have a fresh one here because I just got a new bottle.
Yes.
In the beautiful packaging that it comes in. Anyway, it does come with a big long pump, and you can just set it on your counter and squirt it into either your coffee or hot chocolate or your smoothie or your soup or whatever, you want to put it into. But
I'm curious, honey, what kind of beverages or what kind of base you like to put your pump in?
So I'm a bit of like I said, a snow bunny, and it's cold up here. So I love my hot chocolate, but I put coffee in it too.
Oh.
So, and I use dark hot chocolate, and then this just, kind of vanishes inside of that.
That's a beautiful concoction. I love to drink that.
It is. And it's become a tradition now. So it's easy to do that in the morning. What my issue with is remembering to get it in me at night before I go to bed. So I want to create some sort of little ritual for that too. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Right.
What's inside of it? Tell us.
Okay. So the bottle is 500 ml, and it's like 17 ounce. And so it has 60 pumps. So each pump will offer our users 50 milligrams CBD and 25 milligrams CBG, right? So each pump has two cannabinoids. The reason we pick those two cannabinoids are, by the way, there are many medical benefits for different variety of cannabinoids. But when we look at our conditions in the health and wellness space, we realize so many illness or conditions is ending with ITIS. Have you noticed? Like
Yes.
colitis, arthritis,
Yes.
dermatitis. So,
Yes.
I'm not a pharmacist, I'm a chemist, but I was doing my own, like just on the surface study. I said, why so many disease coming from ITIS? Oh wow, that means literally is disease is caused by chronic inflammation. So this is where my mind just, oh wow, that's crazy. There are over 52 ITIS, we know. And if you follow a FDA pathway, right? So you're gonna have 52 or more drugs for each individual conditions. That,
Wow.
if inflammation happen in the brain is Alzheimer's, right? Over a long time. Inflammation happen in the eye is eye disease, mouth disease, liver disease, right? So
Yeah.
kidney disease. So we're gonna have multiple drugs. But then I thought, well, by the way, CBD and CBG, we know they have very strong anti-inflammation property.
Yeah.
In the research study, is proved in animal study, and it has been proved in some of the human studies also. And then combined, they have a synergistic effect on this lower inflammation. So we thought, instead of treating one like colitis or arthritis, why can't we just leveraging CBD and CBG to lower your overall inflammation chronically, so that people like you, we have a higher quality of life, and then you can use less FDA drugs when you are treating that condition. So that is why we pick CBD and CBG in the bottle.
Don't they call CBG the mother of all cannabinoids?
Yes, I think so.
That's meaningful to me on a lot of different levels because, first of all, I've been hanging out with you wonderful scientists in this cannabis industry for a decade now, and I've learned a thing or two. And secondarily, that all the hundreds of cannabinoids in the plant are generated from this first one is meaningful to me. So, wow, what power that signifies to me.
Exactly.
And we have known and loved CBD now, cannabidiol. CBG is cannabigerol for our audience. And I'm sure you all know that anyway after hanging around with us. But CBD is such a huge anti-inflammatory that has been notated for millennium, from the first Chinese books that were written about all medications.
Yeah.
So
it is amazing that now we're taking this back, right, from history and applying this, hopefully to the mainstream market. So talk about mainstream market. This is where when I study more how patients consume cannabis, right? For patients, before 1990s is mostly flowers, which works already, right? For a lot of, in California, for example, the initiative for AIDS patients, for cancer patients, that's where it started. Grow flowers for your patients. And then, but flowers changes, and the smoke impact. And then I think in 2003, Rick Simpson in Canada invented RSO oil, right?
Yeah.
So the oil solved the concentration issue, right? So if a patient's needing 200 milligrams, 500 grams of THC, now they can get it from this oil. Imagine you smoke a gram of THC, you're gonna have a lot of smoke, and your lungs gonna not having it, right? So, but the RS oil it works still, but it's kind of hard to titrate. You have to dilute with a lot of MCT oil, right? You have
impossible
to ingest.
to titrate.
You just guess how much you
Just
get, right?
guessing. That's
You
right.
know,
Just guessing.
but even that, it helped a lot of patients already.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and then over time, I think in 2016, 2018, FDA approved pharmaceutical drugs using CBD and THC, Epidiolex, dronabinol, right?
That's right. Epidiolex and
Mhm.
dronabinol.
So now, like dronabinol, they're coming in like 5 milligram, like capsule, which is meter
Oh,
dose. You can meter dose. But then it's the issue with full spectrum versus isolates because FDA only look for isolates. So it's 99% THC or CBD. This is where I hear a lot of physicians say people don't like dronabinol, right? That THC is making them a little, you know, not feeling good about themselves, right?
nauseated or anxious or
I,
both.
yes. So when you look
So,
at our history
yes.
of the product evolving for patients, I think none of them are truly honoring the plant, full spectrum, and can be truly, mainstream. So this is the hope of PhytoRx. What if we can, you know, using this platform? The first bottle is just the example of how what we can do, right? Using the platform that we can be consistent and building a new playbook. Because this is what I see prior for research. If I put two papers out, right? People do study. One using 100 milligram CBD for one condition. For the same condition, another group say, okay, I use 300 milligram CBD, which cured them. You say, why there's a big difference of dosage? You look into the data. One is using smoke, one is using tincture. You see, the
Mhm.
different form factors will result in different dose routines and potency target. So if I am a new doctor, if I want to be interested, and when I do the research, I say, how can I prescribe this? Do I do 100 or 300? Right? So this is where I think the first problem we need to solve, that which for further to solve, by the way, is to unify the dose. Like if one pump is doing this, we'll measure the PK, we'll measure the PD, we'll measure how patients feel, and then uh, with the goal of producing a new playbook. So the new doctors, when they come in, they have a playbook. Oh, I know what does one pump do exactly.
What you're telling me, what I'm hearing is that education for our medical professionals is imperative as well as the general public. And having science and our medical professionals behind it, finally, getting them past their own stigma of the components, of this medication is a bit of a hurdle too. So having you there to explain to them in their own terminology that gives them confidence in what they're seeing, hearing, and reading about this, just getting, it, we're just now spitting out masters in pharmacology with cannabinoids. So we're
That's
still
a
in the
really good sign.
infancy of all of that,
Yeah,
right?
we start to educating our next generations of doctors and
Yes.
clinicians. Yeah, that's great. That's great to know. And
So I love hearing the science about this and how you decided to choose these two. Can you are um, who are you appealing to at this point? Businesses who already are into
mm, yeah, so
selling
Phyto,
medical products.
right. So PhytoRx is not a FDA approved product. We're not. We are a therapeutical product. So that's the first definition. So we are, and also PhytoRx is a brand that we are trying to talk to patients, but we're not experts when it comes to understanding the patients, understanding their conditions, what other drugs they're taking. So our approach is to work closely with clinicians and doctors who understand cannabis and who educate those information to their patients, right? And they know their condition, so they know the best how they can take this. So our approach is to reaching out to many, cannabis doctors and clinicians, you know, first offer a bottle to see, okay, how do you like it? Do you like the flavor? Do you like the way it works, the user experience, and the effect? And then by doing this, honey, I can tell you in the first couple months last year, we have gathered so many feedbacks, right? In terms of flavor, in terms of how the pump works, because we know, you know, building a new product take time, and building trust take a longer time. And that's why we don't want to rush into, just blast on social media or something like that. We heard the feedback, and I can tell you the feedback, the most feedback, people love the way it works.
Yeah.
But some people do not like the flavor. The flavor could be still a little offensive to some palates, right? Because we are all different sensitivity in our mouth. So we heard that, and we are actually finding solutions to lower the bitterness, And then I will ask you, how do you like your bitterness for Feather X?
I got a little too close to it once, and the masking of my coffee, was weaker than the potency of the bitter. And so I understand what you're talking about, but generally I bypass that by putting it into something, my hot chocolate and coffee, and it's
Right.
dark chocolate. I'm wondering now with that thought if you could add coconut to it. I don't know, but it seems like coconut in dark chocolate with your product would just be yummy before bedtime at night for me.
That could be a honey special formula.
It could be.
Special formulated. Yes. So for the flavor, this is what we thought. So we do not. So if current Feather X, the flavor is here.
Yeah.
If flavorless is here,
Yeah.
we don't want to be flavorless because
No.
we have two reasons. One, we don't want kids to just accidentally drink it in their beverages, right?
Yeah.
So we want some flavor to deter them. Two is we want our patients or users, and psychologically they know they're not drinking juice or sugary stuff. This is a plant medicine. And your psychology will tell you this works if we want to remain that there's raw cannabis plenty taste. And I think that is helpful. That's healing for people. So if we're here, we want to be over here, right? Reduce most of that, offensive taste, but then remaining that plenty taste. And I think we can achieve that.
What a delight it is, Harold, to hear you speak about us with this kind of concern. It gives us faith in our scientists and our doctors who are, we want to believe care about us. It's all those other pharmaceuticals that make us upset and angry and also anxious and feel bad inside too, because they don't play nicely together. And the Phyto RX helps that stuff play nicer too. Whatever is, the contents of our belly wellies. The cannabinoids help.
Thank you.
In that synergistic way. It helps calm that stuff down in your system.
Yeah.
So, I use it daily, and I am talking about it and trying to help others see. There are a couple of, in fact, you just made me think when you said something a while ago. There's a couple of physicians who deal with in elder care. I would just love to introduce you to down in Florida.
I would love to talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
One's a neurologist, and the other is an amazing kind of a MASH style doctor. So we'll talk about him later. But
okay,
I'll definitely send you those introductions. So
Thank you.
Dr. Hahn, is there anything else that you would like to tell our audience about this beautiful product so that we can, build curiosity around it and get them to ask their own doctors? Well, have you heard about Phyto RX?
Yeah. So yes, thank you, honey. Yes, if people in the audience are interested, learning more, please go to phytorx.co and you can find us. And we, like I said, we just launched last year, but before launching, we have spent many months to talk to people like you, honey,
Of
to
course.
gain feedbacks, to send prototypes, and to improve products, to improve reissues. So right now, we're still not like fully marketing officially launch, right? We are still in this soft launch, and we just want to take our time to get the product right, the market fit, what are the patients are saying, how can it benefit them. So if you're interested, like if you are either a senior who suffer from inflammation or pain, arthritis, other inflammation, try a bottle to see if it helps you, because I have including honey, but there are other users who suffer from the pain from inflammation, and they take a they take a pump and they send me emails like, Harold, yeah, I can walk again. There's I can do the things I didn't cannot do before. So if you are interested, go to phytorx.co and you can use phytorx15 as a discount code, and just to get you to start to use it, so that it's a token for us from us to thank you.
Oh, that's a beautiful offer. And thank you so much. We'll be sure and put that in the notes as well.
Thank you.
Oh, Harold, I'm so excited to think that there's something out there, a prospect for our audience that can really help them in a natural way that is gentle on their system, gentle on their psyche, and that they can be assured of because they're hearing it from both you and me.
Mhm.
So, being able to trust a cannabis product and its source is immensely valuable right now in this world of what the heck is going on with this
Yes.
stuff.
Yes,
So,
honey. And because we are dealing with the input, just like the CBD, CBG, there are
yeah,
different variety of different source. You
yeah,
can do broad spectrum isolation, you can do hemp, cannabis, and if people even can synthesize certain both, right? I know company who can synthesize it. So for us, from Vertosa's standpoint, for PhytoX standpoint, we talk to every single suppliers who has the input, because input plays a big role for our product,
mhm,
and the
mhm.
purity, the consistency, the scalability is really play a big role. So our quality team, when we want to change our input from one supplier to another or getting a new supplier, we have this month-long tedious quality GMP. Show me your batch record. Show me your testing process. Show me your recall system. Show me everything. And our R&D team will get a sample, and we will do our not only the big six we call potency, microbial, heavy metal, pesticide, solvents, mycotoxins. That's just given. That's given. And we do our own, like we develop some testing protocols with the lab so we can see, is there any, okay, first of all, is this synthetic? Because if we don't want to just trust our supplier in the beginning, okay, this is natural derived, right? We want to see if there are any synthetic byproducts in there, right? And then we want to see what's the purity, right? What's the impurity in the sample, right? So we do all this, coupled with our quality documents, coupled with the RD's approval. This is to say, okay, now we feel confident regarding the supplier. So by using PhytoX, the active, which is the CBD, CBG in there, I think is the best in the nation.
Harold, do you have any samples of your COA available? And for our audience, that means certificate of analysis, because what Harold just described is that all that juicy detail, of what's inside the plant before it ever gets to you. And he's telling you that he makes certain that there's no pesticides or herbicides or fungicides or heavy metals or nothing but the
Nothing.
good stuff for you.
And honey,
Oh,
yes, there is a QR code, I think, on the bottle or on the box. If you can scan the QR code on the bottle, you will get to that batch is sealed. Oh, right there, right there. If you can scan it, it will go to the COA, and then you have all the pesticide, heavy metals, every batch we tested for sure. We
beautiful,
have to.
beautiful packaging.
Thank you.
Beautiful, really well protected, and easy to open and easy to use. I really advocate using a product like this because it is consistent and it comes straight from a trusted source.
Thank you.
So those are two of the major hurdles of the cannabis industry right now. And I am thrilled to be on the cutting edge of this science with you, Dr. Hahn.
Thank you, honey.
Really am.
I'm honored. Thank you for your trust. And the trust is not you trust me now, but I want our team to continue working hard to earn that trust, to keep that trust, and that is just consistency. And if we don't know anything, we'll tell you. If we know something is risky, we'll tell you. And I think this is how we're gonna build trust. And on the business side, if you don't have trust, and if you go to the market, then you don't have a future, especially in our space. So building trust through the doctors, through you, to the patients is our work.
Well, it's my pleasure to work with you and to help all of our society understand about just feeling better in a much more gentle and easier way on your system that's better for everybody. So thrilled to be here with you. Dr. Hahn, don't go anywhere after I push the stop record button, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you again. One more time, tell our audience one more time how to get in contact with you.
Yes. If you go to phytorx.co, and you can purchase the product right there, and you can use the code phytorx15 for your first bottle. You can get 15% discount, and we would love to hear from your feedback.
Don't miss this opportunity to try something fabulous from our friend, Dr. Harold Hahn. Thank you again for being here. Bye, everybody.
She's the queen of the green with nothing to hide. Oh, honey, no.
You've been listening to another Cannabis Truth Podcast with 21st century cannabis shaman Honey Smith Walls. Using cannabis mindfully as medication is a different concept in Western healthcare philosophy, specifically over the past century. There's a lot to learn and reconsider. The scientific truth of cannabis is finally getting out and is wide open for all to see at respected medical sites like the National Library of Medicine at pubmed.gov and the Journal of American Medical Association at JAMAnetwork.com. We here at the Cannabis Truth Podcast are right there in the thick of it, alongside the titans of medicine, as a fly on the wall. We are not doctors, nor did we go to medical school, but we have taken dozens of private cannabis courses and still engage in continuing education offered by expert cannabis scientists. Over the past few years, we slowly began to see and understand the bigger picture. Now we hear from people all day long about cannabis. It is so important to use verifiably safe products. The process of getting a diagnosis from your family doctor and taking your records to a cannabis specialist can lead you to the correct cannabinoid therapy for your specific issues. Otherwise, you're simply your own guinea pig looking for answers without the foundational knowledge or ability to determine your best strategy. To find a qualified cannabis expert in your area, visit cannabisclinicians.org. This is a national society of cannabis experts. Look for the link in the show notes. Unless otherwise proven by a reputable third-party lab test, please regard all street weed as contaminated. It may do grave harm to a patient with a delicate immune system who already has inflammatory issues like arthritis, IBS, fibromyalgia, or worse. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you find value and understanding through the conversations you've heard on this podcast.
She walked in with wisdom and a fire in her eyes, talking plant truth where the silence lies. From the roots to the bloom, she saw the light. Now she's teaching folks how to heal it right. Not afraid to challenge the tale of lazy myths in a system that failed. She's got science in one hand, stories in the voices they tried to smother. Honey knows, honey grows, truth in the soil and love in the smoke. Speaking for the elders and the ones left behind. She's the shaman of the leaf with a warrior's mind. Yeah, honey knows how the healing flows. From Florida sun to digital waves, she's breaking down fear with every word she says. Cannabis truth, that's her battle cry. For the mamas and papas still scared to try. She ain't selling hype, she's serving facts. Taking big pharma to school with class. With a mic and a mission, she lights the way for the lost and the curious every day. Honey knows, honey grows, truth in the bud and peace in the dose. Teaching the plant like a sacred art. From the ECS to the beating heart. Yeah, honey knows how the healing flows. She's been burned by the system, lifted by the plant, giving voice to the ones who thought they can. A sister, a savior,